It's Wednesday, July 20th, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with a look at the latest local news. Frank Granito joins us later with a Nutmeg Sports update and a look at your forecast. And of course, Donna Lang will take a look back on this day in history. But first, taking a look at the latest news. In Darien, a Tower Ridge Road resident reported that their home was burglarized after they returned home from vacation July 12th. The homeowner said when she first attempted to deactivate the burglar alarm when she got home, there was no power connected to that keypad. She then saw that the front office of the home had been ransacked and the front door showed signs of being forced open. There were also signs of forced entry at the rear of the home, though wooden dowels had prevented the sliding glass doors from being opened. Police said that several bedrooms in that house were ransacked and pictures had been removed from the wall, leading police to believe that the suspects may have been searching for a hidden wall safe. In the home's basement, the security control panel was open and electronic components had been ripped out and left hanging with the battery disconnected. Though several rooms were searched, all items of value were reported intact by the homeowners. Police said that burglary is believed to have taken place between July 9th around 5:30 a.m. and 1 a.m. on July 12th. No other burglaries were reported in the area, and Darien detectives are continuing that investigation. A 31-year-old man will be spending a year behind bars for distributing heroin that led to the death of a Milford man back in January. Christopher Fogler of West Haven was sentenced Tuesday to 12 months and 1 day of prison time, followed by 3 years of supervised release for distributing heroin that was involved in an overdose death. According to court documents and statements made in court on January 12, 2015, a 39-year-old male died from an apparent overdose at his home in Milford. The investigation, which included analysis of text messages captured from the dead man's cell phone, revealed that Fogler and Alyssa Jelliff had sold that person $170 worth of heroin the night before. On January 16th, a court-authorized search of Fogler and Jelliff's residence revealed approximately 10 bags of heroin and assorted drug paraphernalia, including a digital scale, razor blades, and cut straws. Those two were arrested after that search. In April, Fogler pleaded guilty to one count of conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute heroin. Jelliff, 23, pleaded guilty to the same charge last week. She awaits sentencing. And a 20-year-old Middletown man was arrested yesterday for allegedly firing a stolen gun outside the window of a car on I-84. The front seat passenger, Giovanni Omar Rodriguez, was arrested at about 9 o'clock when state police were first dispatched to I-84 near exit 58 in East Hartford. The suspected vehicle was observed traveling on I-84 West and exited the highway via the exit 47 off-ramp. Troopers and Hartford police officers conducted a felony motor vehicle stop on Farmington Avenue in Hartford. A search of that motor vehicle resulted in the seizure of a .45 caliber handgun reported stolen back on January 18th and a plastic bag containing 1 ounce of a greenish-brown leafy substance suspected to be marijuana. And several Connecticut officials are in Cincinnati this week for the Republican National Convention, and they've been posting updates on social media. The convention officially nominated Donald Trump as the presidential candidate yesterday. Linda McMahon's Facebook page posted this video of J.R. Romano, a Derby native and state party chairman, announcing Connecticut's support for Trump. Check it out.
For the following down delegates, 28 Trump.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I come from the land where we manufacture Pez, nuclear submarines, and the home to WWE, where men are men and the women are champions. The great state of Connecticut is casting all 28 delegates for the next president of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Again, that was Connecticut State Party Chairman J.R. Romano announcing Connecticut's support for Trump. And in other news today, important changes coming for New Canaan commuters. Metro North will be providing substitute busing between New Canaan and Stamford stations for some trains starting this Friday and for all trains on Saturdays and Sundays from July 22nd through August 21st to allow for work on grade crossings. Buses will operate 15 to 20 minutes earlier than scheduled trains. Switching gears now, going to throw it over to Frank Granito for a look at the forecast. Frank, it's gorgeous today.
It is absolutely beautiful outside, Kate. Arguably the best day we have had all summer long. There will be lots of sun throughout the day without a cloud in the sky, along with a comfortable breeze blowing between 5 to 10 miles per hour. We can expect a high of 84 degrees and a low tonight of right around 64, 63 as we get ready for a heat wave that'll be blowing in starting tomorrow. We'll see the temperatures rise back up with an expected high of 89 on Thursday. Humidity right as well, sitting up there at 55% as it gets hotter and hotter. You will see clouds throughout the day in little spurts, but not too much as we get ready then for the heat wave coming back on Friday. Temperatures all the way back up into the 90s. Humidity will go up into the 60% as there'll be cloud cover that day, maybe some thunderstorms Friday night, but expect it to be in the upper 90s as we get to Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, all right, Frank. Thanks for the somewhat good news. All right.
We get one comfortable day,
yeah.
so get your running in today.
It is summer. What can we complain about? All right, well, we're going to talk with Frank later for a Nutmeg Sports Update. When we come back, we'll also have Donald Ang taking a look back on this day in history. And, of course, we have some more news coming up after this. Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
Walter Stewart's Market in New Canaan is your time-saving local shopping destination for the best of spring. Find many of your favorite products, from great specials on everyday items to the freshest organic produce, artisanal cheeses, and grass-fed steaks. Drop off your knives to be sharpened, grab a beautiful bouquet of spring flowers, and stop in next door for a wine tasting. Plus, their personable staff is always ready to lend a helping hand. So stop in to Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street today, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
You're watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 1 million people have watched our live sports, news, and entertainment programming since the network launched in August 2015. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
We are back on this July 20th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and I'm going to throw it over to Donald Ang for a look back on this day in history. Don.
Well, thanks, Kate. We begin in 1944. Adolf Hitler survives an assassination attempt led by German Army Colonel Klaus von Stauffenberg, memorably played by Tom Cruise in the movie Valkyrie. The purpose of the assassination attempt was to seize political control of Germany from the Nazi Party in order to make peace with the Western Allies as soon as possible. Following the assassination attempt, Hitler drove the Gestapo to arrest anyone even remotely connected to the plot, including relatives. More than 7,000 people would be arrested, 4,980 known to have been executed. To 1977, the CIA releases documents under the Freedom of Information Act revealing it had engaged in mind control experiments, including numerous illegal activities like surreptitious administration of drugs and other chemicals, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, verbal and sexual abuse, and various forms of torture. You are looking at, by the way, a 10-year-old girl who was given high doses of LSD for a 6-month period. The program ran into the early 1970s. 1997, the fully restored USS Constitution, shown there escorted by USS Ramage and Halliburton, and with the Blue Angels flying overhead, celebrates its 200th birthday by setting sail under its own power for the first time in 116 years. Constitution has been retired as an active warship since 1881 and is currently serving as a museum ship. It is right now docked in Charlestown Navy Yard for a 3-year restoration. Finally, now we go to 1969 for this.
100 feet, 3.5 down, 9 forward. Okay, 75 feet. Car's looking good, down a half. 6 forward. 60 seconds. Lights on, forward. Forward. 40 feet, down 2.5. Picking up some dust. Great shadow. 4 forward, drift into the right a little. 30 seconds. Forward, drift. Contact light. Okay, engine stop. We copy you down, Eagle. Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
That, of course, was Apollo 11's crew of Armstrong and Aldrin successfully touching down on the moon in the Sea of Tranquility. The two were supposed to then take a 5-hour nap, but gave up on trying to sleep after about 2.5 hours. They would step onto the moon's surface the following day. That reminds me, I need to come up with a video for tomorrow, a historical event. Anyway, that is your look back in history for July 20th, and I'm Donald Ng.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, getting back to a little more news today, Milford's lifeguards, who work for the Recreation Department, have joined forces with the Milford Fire Department to make sure city beaches are as safe as can be. For the past few years, the fire department has trained with city lifeguards, practicing such skills as first aid, CPR, and physical fitness. This year, the guards have stepped it up due to Milford Fire Lieutenant Eric Moore taking over as the principal trainer. They continue to practice skills in first aid and basic CPR, but they've also been able to focus on water rescue skills and more advanced medical care, like the use of an AED for sudden cardiac arrest. The guards at Milford's biggest beaches, Gulf and Walnut, have also been equipped with 2 brand new AEDs. But we are going to throw it back to Frank Granito now for a Nutmeg Sports Update. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. We'll start with baseball, and we start with the Section 1 Double-L tournament. Stanford North beat Milford National 5-3 last night in the opening game behind 3 home runs off the bats of Jordan Nunez, Roderick Olson, and Jack Hawk. Stanford led by as much as 5-0 before surrendering 3 late runs. They'll have the night off while Milford looks to avoid elimination against the District 2 champion of Fairfield American. And in the 18-year-old division of the Babe Ruth Baseball League, the 7th time in the last 10 years, the Stanford Babe Ruth team has qualified for the New England Regional Tournament. Stanford begins play in the New England Tournament up in Worcester, Mass. on Wednesday at 5:30 against Western Massachusetts. If that Stanford team is able to win, it will batter New Hampshire on Thursday night. If they lose their opening game, they will drop into the losers bracket and play against a team to be named later for Friday night. And finally, in New Canaan, field renovations have begun at New Canaan High School on Dunning Stadium. They just ripped up the turf last week, starting on Monday, as they prepare to re-turf the main stadium field, along with redoing 2 of the grass fields near the tennis courts. For more information on the renovation project, tune into Nutmeg Sports at 2 o'clock, where I'll be joined with Dave Stewart for pictures and a couple videos and an inside story as we look at the renovations being done at New Canaan High School. That's going to do it for this Nutmeg Sports Update. Let's throw it back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. Well, in some other field news today, Wilton Selectman David Clune is leading a drive to sell advertisements at Wilton High School Stadium. Money raised from selling ads, included printed banners visible to the home and guest bleachers, could help pay for maintenance of the new organic turf field that's being installed this summer. The money could be in the range of $40,000 to $60,000, according to Clune. The selectmen appeared open to the concept of selling advertising, but some, including Dick Dubois, had questions about who would be responsible for ruling on which ads are appropriate or not. Overall, however, the reception to the idea was warm, but you can get more details at wiltonbulletin.com. And Shelton Sunnyside Elementary School parents are upset to hear that their children's school will have to wait even longer for a permanent roof replacement. The school's roof, estimated to be 20 years old, was scheduled to be repaired after the 2015-16 school year, but that plan changed when asbestos was discovered in one of the areas in need of fixing. Shelton Board of Ed Chairman Mark Holden said the asbestos isn't to be considered a danger to anyone in the building as long as it remains encapsulated. Sunnyside PTO member Ann Gaidos said there was initially concerns of students having to relocate, but Holden said that will not be necessary. She said the PTO is also frustrated they weren't told the reason for the project not being initially done. But you can get a lot more on that story at sheltonherald.com. And the Norwalk River Watershed Association received a $5,000 grant from Outdoor Gear and Clothing Co-op, REI, to create new hiking trail maps of the 40,000-acre Norwalk River watershed area and restore 2 trail sections in Wilton. NRWA President Louise Washer said the association and REI have worked together on projects since REI's Norwalk store opened 6 years ago. Washer said REI suggested the organization apply for another grant to not only pay for the creation and printing of the maps, but also to host 2 stewardship events to help raise awareness about the importance of open space to water quality and other issues. There will be both print and online versions of that new map, according to Washer, and the goal is to have the printed maps available for order on the association website and at local environmental events this spring. We're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories we're following today on your coffee break after this. For more than 50 years, SSS has been Fairfield County's expert service for carpet, upholstery, and drapery cleaning. We provide the best in repairs and in-depth restoration, understanding fabrics and how to properly clean and restore them. Our staff will come to your home to clean your wall-to-wall carpet to perfection. We can also pick up your fine carpets and bring them to our facilities. With locations in Norwalk, Stamford, and Stratford, SSS will get the job done fast, big or small. At SSS, you can count on our people as well as our cleaning. Find us at SSSclean.com or 203-847-8000.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. New Canaan is 6 minutes down the road. New Canaan's a beautiful little town to walk around. I work in Westport. My commute is 20 minutes. It's close to Westchester where my family is, so the location is ideal. There is no other townhome that compares in the area. This is where I want to be.
At Cabbage Patch Nursery School in Ridgefield, playtime is learning time. Using out-of-the-box activities and programs in science, dance, Spanish, Taekwondo, and so much more, learning is made fun. Aside from interactive classrooms, our center features a sensory room, computer lab, and a large outdoor space for playtime fun. Our carefully chosen staff believe in a supportive, safe environment and keeping you updated on your little one's experience. Cabbage Patch Ridgefield, helping shape your child's future. 29 Farrar Lane in Ridgefield. Call 203-340-1250 to register today. What's happening up in Hartford and what's trending in the Nutmeg State?
Join Kate Czaplinski
And Josh Fisher
on CT Pulse live Wednesdays at 12:30 to find out.
We talk to the leaders and newsmakers while breaking down the stories you should be paying attention to each week.
With the help of HAN's editorial cartoonist Doug Smith, we take a humorous look at the news of the week. We talk about everything you were told you should avoid bringing up in polite company.
CT Pulse, Wednesdays at 12:30 on the HAN Network.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune in to Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN Network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
We're back on this Wednesday edition of Your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories we're following today, including that in Darien, a Tower Ridge Road resident reported that their home had been burglarized after they returned home from vacation on July 12th. The homeowner said when she first attempted to deactivate the home's burglar alarm, there was no power connected to the keypad. She then saw that the front office of the home had been ransacked and the front door showed signs of being forced open. There were also signs of forced entry. Police said at the rear of the home, the wooden dowels had prevented the sliding glass doors from being opened. Police said that several bedrooms in the house had been ransacked and pictures had been removed from the wall, leading police to believe that the suspects may have been searching for a hidden wall safe. In the home's basement, the security control panel was open and electronic components had been ripped out and left hanging with the battery disconnected. Though several rooms were searched, all items of value were reported intact by the homeowners. Police said that burglary is believed to have taken place between July 9th at 5:30 a.m. and 1 a.m. on July 12th. No other burglaries were reported in the area, and Darien detectives are continuing their investigation. And in other news, a 31-year-old man will be spending a year behind bars for distributing heroin that led to the death of a Milford man in January. Christopher Fogler of West Haven was sentenced Tuesday to 12 months and 1 day of imprisonment, followed by 3 years of supervised release for distributing heroin that was involved in an overdose death. According to court documents and statements made in court, on July 12, 2015, a 39-year-old male died from an apparent overdose at his home in Milford. The investigation, which included analysis of text messages captured from the dead man's cell phone, revealed that Fogler and Alyssa Jelliff had sold that person $170 worth of heroin. On January 16th, a court-authorized search of Fogler and Jelliff's residence revealed about 10 bags of heroin and assorted drug paraphernalia. In April, Fogler pleaded guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute, and Jelliff, 23 years old, pleaded guilty to the same charge last week. She awaits sentencing. And a 20-year-old Middletown man was arrested yesterday for allegedly firing a stolen gun outside the window of a car on I-84. The front seat passenger, Giovanni Omar Rodriguez, was arrested at about 9 o'clock when state police were dispatched to the I-84 near exit 58 in East Hartford. The suspected vehicle was observed traveling on I-84 West and exited the highway off of exit 47. Troopers and Hartford police officers conducted a motor vehicle stop on Farmington Avenue in Hartford, and a search of that vehicle resulted in the seizure of a .45 caliber handgun reported stolen back on July 18th, and a plastic bag containing about 1 ounce of a greenish-brown leafy substance suspected to be marijuana. And several Connecticut officials are in Cincinnati this week for the Republican National Convention and have been posting updates on social media. The convention officially nominated Donald Trump as the presidential candidate yesterday. Linda McMahon's Facebook page posted this video of J.R. Romano, who's a Derby native and the state party chairman, announcing Connecticut's support for Trump. Check it out.
With the following down delegates, 28 Trump.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I come from the land where we manufacture Pez, nuclear submarines, and the home to WWE, where men are men and the women are champions. The great state of Connecticut is casting all 28 delegates for the next president of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
We're going to be talking more about local Connecticut officials at the Republican National Convention on CT Pulse coming up at 12:30. But finally, some important changes coming for New Canaan commuters. Metro North will be providing substitute busing between New Canaan and Stamford stations for some trains starting this Friday and for all trains on Saturdays and Sundays from July 22nd through August 21st to allow for work on grade crossings. Buses will operate 15 to 20 minutes earlier than the scheduled trains. All right, let's throw it back to Frank Granito for one final look at the forecast.
Thanks again, Kate. So one last time, best day of the summer out there right now, 84 degrees, minimum humidity, and not a cloud in the sky. If you've got any activities planned, take care of them today because we are about to run into another heat wave. Temperatures in the upper 80s tomorrow, a little more humid and a little more cloud cover, but then Friday we'll see day one of this next heat wave. It will be in the low 90s, very cloudy during the day. Expect some thunderstorms at night, and temperatures will really spike up towards the weekend, but we can talk about that more tomorrow.
Frank, thanks so much. And of course, Nutmeg Sports at 2 o'clock. Dave Stewart joins you. You're going to be talking about Dunning Field renovations,
yes,
right?
We'll be looking at some of Dave's pictures and videos he's taken as they ripped up the turf on Monday, and we'll talk about what the town has planned coming up next inside Dunning Stadium and also in the grass fields right behind the stadium over by the tennis courts. We'll take a look at some of our local baseball teams and how they're doing in the sectional and regional tournaments for baseball.
All right, awesome. And at 12:30, Josh Fisher joins me for CT Pulse. As we mentioned, we're going to be talking about the Republican National Convention and some local officials there. Frank's also going to step in, and we're going to be replaying some of the great interview he did last week with a local football star about concussions and his advocacy on making changes there. So that's coming up at 12:30. Definitely check it out. We're going to wrap things up here on your coffee break, but of course, we'll be back tomorrow at 11. Have a great day.